Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Read Aloud. So, this is a new week in Read Aloud, and we're going to continue to learn a lot more about sharks. And as we learn, I always want you to keep in mind the following things. I'm going to pull up the chart that we use for Read Aloud. So, we pay attention to details. We're thinking about what we're learning, what we're noticing, what you're also learning. You understand and use keywords. So as you come across keywords, think about what it means. Is it like or not like something else? You also put the parts of the text together in your mind. Most of these parts are about. Parts could include different sections in the book or even different pages in the book. And you also think about, what is this book and this part teaching me? As you read nonfiction books, you're always thinking, what is this part or this book mostly about? Okay, so keep that in mind as we continue. Now we're going to read the book Kingfisher Readers, which is the publisher, Sharks. Okay, and I'm taking a look at the page, the cover page, and I'm noticing there are two different types of sharks. I know a little bit about sharks, so I know that this one right here is a hammerhead shark. I don't know what kind of shark this is, but maybe as I read, I'll learn a little bit more about the different types of sharks. Before I begin reading, I'm going to preview, meaning take a look at each of the pages that we'll be reading this week and kind of gathering some thoughts and ideas in my mind about what I'll be learning about. So let's go to the next page. Table of contents. Meet the shark, sharks of the past, where do sharks live? So maybe in that section, I'll be learning about where do sharks live, shark bodies, shark colors, on the move, shark senses, food and hunting, baby sharks, whale sharks, great white sharks, shark attacks, sharks in danger, glossary and index. Wow. So in this book, there's a lot of different chapters or sections that will teach me more information than what I knew in the other sharks books. Remember that National Geographic book that we read last week? So maybe I could take what I learned in that book and add it to what I'm going to learn in this book. Let's continue reading. So we'll go through the sections we'll be learning about. So we'll be focusing on where do sharks live, shark bodies, shark attacks, and sharks in danger. Okay, so it's a lot of information on these pages, and I'm not going to really breeze through them or rush through them. I'm going to really take my time to study each page as I read. All right, so here we go. Sharks. So the first section that we will be learning about is called Where Do Sharks Live? So let me move this up here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you guys to see it. Okay. All right, where do sharks live? So I'm predicting that in this section, I'm going to learn about maybe the different places around the world sharks live. And I say that because I see the world right in front of me on this map that the author has included, which is a good text feature they included to help me study a little bit more about sharks. So remember, maps or diagrams are text features that authors include in their stories to help you as a reader learn a little bit more about sharks. Where do sharks live? Here we go. Sharks live in seas and oceans all over the world. Most are found in warm parts of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, but a few live in the cold oceans near the North and South Poles. Sharks live in every part of the sea, from shallow water to the deepest depths, and from rocky shores to coral reefs. I'm going to pause right here because I just learned a lot of information and I need to jot some notes down so I can keep my thoughts in my mind. So I'm going to get my Post-it. Here it is. And now I'm going to think, what did I just learn about where sharks live? So I remember the author was telling me that sharks live in seas and oceans, which is a body of water, but maybe one is bigger and one is smaller. And those seas and oceans could vary around the whole world, okay? Also, I remember the author saying that sharks are found in warm parts of specific water oceans, right? So mainly they're found in the Atlantic Ocean. And I'm looking here. This is where the Atlantic Ocean is. Let me move this over. This is where the Atlantic Ocean is, okay? This whole entire part. Also, I see the Pacific Ocean. Some sharks could be over here, and the Indian Ocean. Sharks live in every part of the sea, from shallow water to the deepest depths, and from rocky shores to coral reefs. So that means they're all over the ocean and the sea, right? So let's jot that down. Sharks live in seas and oceans all over the world, right? They are mostly found in the warm Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. These oceans could be very shallow, rocky, deep, or filled with coral reefs. So notice that I kind of took what the author told me and then put it in my own words to help me as the reader understand what I'm learning. All right, let's continue reading because we did not finish. The Greenland shark lives further north than any other type of shark. It is found in the cold, deep water of the Arctic Ocean around Iceland and Greenland. In the water, the ocean freezes over and the shark survives underneath the ice. Wow, so now the author is really pinpointing a specific type of shark and where they live, right? So now I'm learning that the Greenland shark lives further north than most of the other sharks. So now I'm going to take a look at the map, and I'm noticing that the Greenland shark lives all the way up here while most of the other sharks live down below, more south, right? So it's more north you'll find this type of shark. And up north, the water is more colder and deeper. And it's closer to the Arctic Ocean, which is closer to Greenland, right? And Iceland, right? All right, so let's jot that down. The Greenland shark is mostly found. So let me put something in the beginning that you also have to do. I'm learning that the Greenland shark is mostly found up north, closer to the Arctic Ocean. Okay. In the winter, the ocean freezes and the Greenland shark is still able to survive underneath the frozen ice. Very cool. I could also say I noticed on the map that the Greenland shark, now let's take a look at it again before I continue. I'm going to move this over here. So the Greenland shark on the map, I noticed on the map that the Greenland shark is closer to Greenland and Iceland. And these are other parts of the world, right? Good. Now, the author has included a text feature here. And that means, hey, read a little bit more to learn a lot more. Migration. So this word seems like a key word or another word for a vocabulary word that I need to learn more about. Some sharks spend their whole lives in a small area of sea. Others regularly travel long distances. This is called migration. Wow, so the author just told me what migration is. In my own words, I'm going to think about what that word means, but let me finish reading. The blue shark is one species that travels far. Every year, these sharks swim thousands of miles across the Atlantic Ocean to find food and to breed. Wow, here's another key word. Sometimes, you know what authors do? They make words in bold to remind you that these are important key words and vocabulary words that you could also look up in the glossary to find the information, even if the information is not here. So let me try to summarize what I just learned, okay? I learned that the word, maybe more specific, vocabulary word, migration, means that, what do you think? I want you to think, what is migration? What did the author teach us? And tell us about what migration means. I'll give you about 1 minute. How many of you said that migration is when sharks travel from one part of the world or of the sea and ocean to another part of the sea and the ocean? Good, so I'm going to put that down. Means that sharks travel long distances from one part of the ocean and sea to another part of the ocean and sea. Great. That is what we call migration. Now, I see another word here and it says breed, but I'm not too sure what that word means. But let me look around the word. That's another way to help you figure out not tricky words, but like vocabulary words or keywords that the author included in their books. All right, let's read around it. The blue shark is one species that travels far. Every year, these sharks swim thousands of miles across the ocean to find food and to breed. So I'm wondering, they travel across the Atlantic Ocean to find food and to breed. So I'm thinking that breed means to have babies. But let me go to the glossary. I'm going to go to the glossary to see what that really means. Oh, yes, it says it here. The glossary is very important. To have babies. Yes. So that means, let me jot down that word. Vocabulary. Breed. Have babies. That means to have babies. So the sharks travel across the Atlantic Ocean to have babies and to find food. Wow, very interesting fact. Let's continue reading. Did you know most sharks live in salty seawater, but a few can also survive in the fresh water of rivers? Bull sharks swim hundreds of miles up rivers. Wow, so this is like a fun fact because the author asked me a question. They said, did you know? But I didn't know, so now I learned something new. Now I learned that, let's jot this down. I'm learning that most sharks live in salt water, right? But some can also live in fresh water. That gives me an indication that, to go back to what the author said, that they live on all over the world. Some parts of the world has fresh water, some parts of the world has salt water. So you can find sharks all over it. How interesting is that? Now I want you to think about the main idea. What am I learning? The main idea is, yes, where sharks live all over the world. All right, boys and girls, have a good afternoon. Bye.